Hi friends! By request, today I'm going to talk about selling Chrome postcards. And I'm not going to say whether you should or you shouldn't. I'm going to show you what it's like and you can decide if it fits with your business model. So if you just search Chrome postcard on eBay and look at sold, it's not very encouraging. You're going to get a lot of these things that sold for under $1, and a lot of them are really boring cards. And they sold on auction and it was for a quarter or whatever. And it's same if you search by lowest price. This is just the default view, and it's still, you're going to see all these low price ones coming up. That's not a postcard. And you might be pretty dissuaded from Chromes just by looking at this, but if you notice, these are all sold by the same person who apparently operates on a selling in bulk business strategy, and they always price really low, and I think always use auctions and always don't make very much per item, but as you see, they sell a ton of items. So that's the low end of the market. That's the race to the bottom part of Chromes. Might be interesting to you, I don't know. And then if you switch and you search your solds by highest price, you get more like this. The first page is going to be all lots of like bulk lots, and those I can't really say are good or bad. I think there's definitely a mix. Some are resellers getting rid of what they consider to be duds, and what they consider to be duds might not be the same as what you consider to be duds. Some are truly unsorted and people don't know what they have. Some are, things that they've tried to sell for a really long time and they really are duds. So who knows? So, lots on eBay you can't look through. You gotta take it or leave it and know there's a lot of risk involved in buying them. They can be cheap though. But the first page is all some big lots, and the second page you eventually start to get into smaller lots and individual cards when you get down into like the $30 area. And right now the solds are kind of flooded with whoever this person is who's selling 4 card lots of card dealerships, which they must have happened into a collection of them, and these are doing pretty well. So it's a very specific thing, but if you find card dealership postcards, know that you can on average seem to get about $30 for a lot of 4 at an auction, an eBay auction. And maybe they should be selling them individually, maybe they should be selling them with buy it now, I don't know, but this seems to be working for them and that's what they're doing. So here's one, here's another. They didn't even turn this the right way, and there's a lot of them you'll see, and they seem to be $20 to $30 in general. But as you keep scrolling, you'll start to see individual postcards, Chromes, that sold for $30-ish. And like, here's one. I don't know why this photo is so horrible, but it sold for about $30 as an auction. Here's another one. This is a Miami drive-in, again, an auction, $27.66. There's a stadium. It's a buy it now, $10. More of these car dealerships. This one's super specific. This is a steel plant in West Virginia, $30, again, an auction. A gas station, $30. Again, this is an auction. There was only one bid, but apparently their starting price is $28.01. This is a Ford dealership, and I don't know, perhaps this is a different person than this. I suspect it is. And they just did a single and it sold for $30 for one. Could be because it was Los Angeles. They knew that it would do better, but I think it's a different person because they have different shipping and stuff. More of these car dealerships. This is technically advertising. I don't think that's really Chrome per se. Let's see. And here's an amusement park. Again, $26. Here's a ski resort place, and $25. Another car dealership. That's multiple postcards. A defunct airline. There's a Confederate monument. This could have gotten taken down, somehow it didn't, but because it has the flag and stuff. But $25. There's another street scene with the the businesses. And New Hampshire is not, I mean, I hardly ever sell New Hampshire postcards, and there's so many around here in Massachusetts. Stadiums, of course this was 48 of them, so that's not that impressive, but so you get the idea. And obviously you can do this on your own, look through the highest sellers. Another street scene, another oil company, fishing pier. So you can find ones. Like here's another airline. This is I guess it's the inside of an airplane with a Polynesian pub. That's cool. Diners, places like highway, roadside, Route 66 stuff. So you can look through this and, see what things you think are the common denominator of good selling. But I think I've pointed out a few that are good. I've pointed out a few that are good. And so for the rest of this video, I did a little experiment and I looked at my sales for the past 90 days, and I tallied up all the postcards and divided them by chromes versus RPPCs or real photos versus other. There is linens and really early color printed postcards that aren't chromes, and like holiday scenes and all that stuff that is white borders, the vintage, very vintage, very towards antique ones. And I will tell you who won in that battle, but before that, first I'm going to show you all the chromes I sold in that 90-day period, and it was only 15 of them, so it's not going to take too long. But I don't try to pick up chromes, they just come in other things I buy. Once in a while, if I see them super cheap and they are something I know has a chance of selling, I will grab them, but I don't really buy them on purpose. And so these are like sort of my throwaway or lot 'em up items that actually sold for, well, I'll show you the prices. Okay, so this one just sold today. It's Taiwan in the 60s. I think this sold because it's a street scene where you can see the different shops and stuff, and I'm sure the street looks very different today. There's also some soldiers. I don't know if that was important to the buyer or not, but I did put it in the keywords. It sold for $12.50. Here is a roadside type restaurant. This is in Tempe, and it sold for $10, $9.99. It's totally a typical chrome. It has some old cars. You can't really see them because it's night. This is just totally nostalgia for this place. Roadside restaurants and motels and stuff are pretty good. Not like, millionaire times, but $10. Here's another one. This is a motel in West Palm Beach, Florida. And you could tell my old assistant listed this because he abbreviated Florida with periods. That really bugs me. Anyway, but this sold for $12.50. Same reason, like nostalgia, whatever, or was in the family. I think that Florida chromes do especially well. I would suspect perhaps California, some places in California, but I've noticed Florida sells the best for me as a really loose rule. Okay, this one is actually a model of a proposed building of the Boston or New England Aquarium. And I think that is sort of what it looks like. It's some nasty, brutalist cement thing. And this is from before it was built in the late 70s. And yeah, so this is like the artist rendition. So that, that's an interesting little piece of history. It's an iconic sort of building. And that pool there is for seals. It doesn't look exactly like that, but you can go see the seals outside. It's pretty cool. I mean, in terms of animals in captivity that really I'd rather see in the wild. This fountain thing does not exist. Anyway, so that sold for $18.50. This is another category that's good, and I call these like illustrated maps. Sometimes I have even like more cutesy pictures of restaurants or whatever. Illustrated maps tend to do pretty well as modernish, chromish postcards go. This one is, reasonably attractive. Sold for $10. Here is, okay, weird. Weird is a good thing. Not that this is that weird if you're Swedish, but this is a carved horse making workshop. And these are like a Christmas thing in Sweden. And this is like a kind of kitschy 60s postcard with her hair and everything. And the pile of horses. That one sold for $10. This one is, what is this? This is the Tropicana Nightclub in Havana. Technically, there's some gray area about selling things that are made in Cuba, embargo-wise, but who's to say this was? I mean, it might even say that it wasn't on here. This one only sold for $5, but it's, again, that whole restaurant nostalgia thing. This one, okay, I made these. This is an old, obviously an old design from the turn of the century, and I made these postcards. They are technically chromes. They have actually a shiny chrome finish, and I just one day felt like making some postcards of these because I thought it was a cool design, and I sell them now and then. This one sold for $10. Sometimes I also sell like little packs of them as well. So that's another idea. You can find something in the public domain that's cool and send it off to any number of cheap printers you can find online and make some postcards and sell them. These probably I probably paid, I don't even know, like less than 50 cents a piece, I would imagine, for these. I forget what quantity I did. All right, this one I took an offer of $3 because I've had it forever. I mean, I feel like this thing has been with me since the beginning of time. But it's like a painting of Noah's Ark by this artist, Manfred Soul, who I don't actually really know. And I just took an offer of $3. But that's a chrome art postcard. This is Tunisia. I took an offer of $5 on this one, but look at this. I mean, would you have bothered to list this postcard? It's a door in Tunisia. It's a continental oversized one. But, I looked at the back. I figured out exactly where it was and everything, and somebody bought it. $5 plus shipping. Better than throwing it away. Here's this one this is a folder, a postcard folder, and I do not advocate buying postcard folders, trying to sell them ever. They're terrible. They never sell. But vintage 60s Disneyland ones will sell. And as far as I can tell, Disney World, not so much. Well, it's newer, I guess, but Disneyland, and especially I think rides that aren't there anymore. I guess this ride maybe still is there. I am not a Disney person, so I'm sure you all know better than I do. But this Pirates of the Caribbean sold for $26 for a postcard folder. And, you know, these are technically chromes. I guess you can email the whole thing. That's the idea. But they're like chrome views inside. So I included it. So yeah, $26 for this one. And these ones generally do okay. I think there might be another in here. This is another art postcard, but it's a well-known scene. I assume this artist is somewhat known, at least locally, but I don't know him. And this sold for $14, and this person also bought some other views of the same scene in different media, not chromes. So yeah, this is, I think, even though this is an art postcard and it's a chrome, it's an attractive, well-known scene. So I think that's why that one sold. Here's more Disney. So this one's actually Disney World, which does not sell as well as Disneyland, as far as I can tell. And I'm the worst person to talk about this, but I assume this is a now defunct attraction. So it's somewhat desirable, and this is 70s. That sold for $14. So Disney, yeah, can do well. And yet another, here's the folder for It's a Small World, a ride. And this is, from what I gather, the old version of it. And it's like really quite psychedelic, which I think is amusing. Like, look at that. It's very 60s. It's quite artistic, really. And anyway, that's for $15. I probably could have gotten more for it, but $15 is fine. I mean, it came in a lot. It did not cost very much. And last, here's another one that I would not normally think to list, but I did. And this is obviously another cartoon thing. This is a chrome, but it's Looney Tunes, and it sold for $12.50. This is a Valentine postcard, I guess. I have other Looney Tunes ones listed, and they have not sold from the same era, but I think somebody wanted this Valentine, and it's unused, so maybe they, sent it. I don't know, but $12.50. So there's some ideas. Those are the chromes I've sold in the past 3 months for what it's worth. I mean, I don't know. Well, I'll tell you what it's worth, actually. It is worth $164.44. Here's my big statistics here. So in the past 90 days, I have sold 15 chromes, total of $164.44, and that is an average price of $10.96, which, while not terribly exciting, is actually not that much lower than other kinds of postcards, and as an average, and is much better than the 25 cents and 30 cents that you're seeing other sellers get, because I priced mine not high, but somewhere between, I usually do $9.99, $12.50, or $18.50, or more for those postcard book things. And then I'll take offers, usually kind of any reasonable offer. Sometimes if somebody offers like 7, I'll ask for $9.99, or if somebody asks for 10, I'll ask for $12.50. I'll just try to boost it up a little, and it's usually not an issue. But yeah, so 15 sold, $164. So that's what that is. By contrast, I sold 6 RPPCs in the past 3 months, which is like shockingly low. I thought I sold more of them. The total was $90, and that comes out to an average price of $15. So obviously those are worth more but sell slower in my world. And then other postcards, I sold 41 for a total of $708.15, and those average out to $17.27. So clearly the winner is other, which again is like linens, old-fashioned color postcards, like from the 1900 to World War II, basically. So a lot of those sell for the same prices you saw on the Chromes, $12.50 or so, but some of them sell for like $40 or $50 or what have you, and more sell for 15 or 18 or 20. So it does average out to much higher. So again, average price for me for other postcards is $17.27, for RPPCs $15, and for Chromes about $11. So I don't know. I think they're worth selling. I don't spend a ton of time on them. I don't source them particularly. I don't prioritize listing them, but there's definitely some categories of them that do better than others, and it's worth kind of looking into that. I think it's worth selling them for me. So let me know what you think and how you do on them, and if you think it's worth selling them for you, and if you have any more questions about the wonderful world of Chrome postcards. Please hit the thumbs up and subscribe and hit the bell to get notifications of when I have a new video or go live, if and when I go live. And thank you, and take care.